Hi, I'm Robin's AI avatar. In this video, I will show you how to add a case for debt collection in the Debitura platform. Once you have your account, you can create cases directly from the dashboard, or you could go to the main menu and click Add Cases there. There are 3 ways to add cases to Debitura. You could do so manually by filling out a form. You can set up an integration to our API or Zapier or your accounting system. Simply click Integrate and Sync, and then select the integration you want to set up. The third option is to upload a CSV file, which is smart if you want to add multiple cases simultaneously. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the form to manually upload cases. You can click here, or you can click directly on the submenu. I'll click Next. In this example, I already have a draft, so I have started to create a case, but I didn't submit it. That's why the system will show me this draft as a friendly reminder. But now I'm going to create from scratch to show you how the case creation form works. The first question is, what type of case are we collecting? Most often that will be an unpaid invoice, but select the category. Our terms do depend on the category you select, where unpaid invoices and loan recovery is always covered if it's undisputed by the standard debt collection agreement, where other types of claims require additional documentation and might be subject to a custom quote. We'll select Unpaid Invoice. Then we're going to add the total claim we're trying to collect and the currency. We can search here and add the currency. Then we need to add when we issued this invoice, so when was this debt created? So we're going to say this was end of last year, and then we enter a due date, so if this is an invoice, it will typically have a date where it was issued and a due date. Next, we have to disclaim if the debt was disputed, so has the debtor contacted us and disagreed with paying this invoice, or have they simply ignored us? If I say the claim has been disputed, I need to describe how and why the debt is disputed. In this example, we're going to say it was not disputed. Next, we should upload some additional documentation to document our claim, so that could be uploading invoices and additional documents such as the underlying contract, and we can also add more other information like a description of the claim. We can add other comments, for example if we have additional details about the debtor, and we can add our own case reference. Own case reference is relevant because Debitura assigns a Debitura case ID which you can use to search and filter cases in the Cases menu. If you want to be able to search and filter on, for example, the invoice ID from your own accounting ledger, you have to enter it here manually. We're going to click Next, and then the system will tell us if we have provided all the required information. We haven't, and that's because we didn't upload a document and we didn't add a claim description. So by now the system doesn't know what we're trying to collect. So we can solve that by either uploading some additional documents or adding a description. I'm just going to add a test example here. Next, we have to tell the system who is the debtor, so who is the person or company we're trying to collect from. The first question is about, is the debtor a company or an individual, and that changes the rest of the fields. So now we're going to say this is a debt that is owed by a company. We'll enter the company name, and we should enter the company registration number. It's a voluntary field, but it's highly recommended that you do add it. The same is true for the contact person. This field is not required, but optional. But it's much easier for the local collection partner to actually assist you if they have all of this information, because just the company name and an address is not always enough to actually locate the debtor, and then the partner might require additional information later down the line. So adding all of the information up front is very helpful. I'm going to add some other information: the contact email, the street address, zip code, city, country, dot. In some countries you also have to select a jurisdiction, and that is because the collection partner will be assigned based on the debtor's jurisdiction. A country can be the jurisdiction, so that would be the case in many countries, but in the US, for example, jurisdictions are set by state. Here I would also have to select the state, and this address is in Delaware, so we're going to select that jurisdiction. It is important to notice that the jurisdiction is what decides who is actually going to recover this claim for you, so who is going to be the local partner. We click Next, and now we see a summary. So we see that this claim will be recovered no cure, no pay with a 15% success fee. You can see more about our pricing on our website. The key principle is before you submit a claim, you will always see the pricing. There's no setup fee. You will be able to see who's going to recover this debt. So in this case, it's our local partner in Delaware, Debt Recovery Resource. You can click here and see their profile. You can see that for this case, our standard debt collection agreement applies. I have not yet added a bank account. It's not required to do at submission time, but it's highly recommended because once the collection partner recovers your debt, they have to disperse the recovered funds to you. And they cannot do that if they don't know your bank account. So you could click here and add bank account now. You can also do that later, and you can also set up rules. So you add a bank account once, and then based on rules, it gets also applied to new cases. We're going to click Submit Case. As this is the first time I'm working with this specific local partner, I have to sign a power of attorney. This gives the specific partner the right to collect on my behalf. I'm going to click Go to Signature, and I'm going to draw a nice signature here and click Submit. Now my case is submitted. I can see it here under Cases, and I can see it's pending verification. And that's because before this case becomes active, Debitura will do some checks, basically just validating all your information is correct. Then the partner will get notified, so in this example, that's Debt Recovery Resources, and then within 2 days, typically, they will approve your case. If the collection partner has additional questions before they can start the case, they will contact you via the platform, and you will get a task in your task list. So to summarize, adding cases is simple. You click Add Case, you select how to create the case, you fill out the form or set up the integration or upload the CSV file. Once your case is submitted, you'll have to sign the debt collection agreement and the power of attorney if you haven't done so before. Once the case is submitted, you can track it via the Cases page. Thanks for watching this video.